everybody. If you're new to my channel, I am Debbie with Debbie's Journals. And if you have watched my videos before, welcome back. I am going to do a tutorial today by request. So Carmen, this is for you. Hopefully she's watching. I sent a card very similar to this to Carmen in some Happy Mail, and she wanted to know how I did it, and I told her it was really easy, and I kind of gave her some basic instructions, and she said, yeah, right, and she asked me to do a tutorial. So I'm going to try to show you how easy this is, and hopefully I won't run out of time, or I may have to do a two-parter, but anyway, I tried to make it, I tried to do as much in advance as I possibly could. Anyway, this is just a piece of junk mail. What do you call these things? Like a business reply mail that I got in an envelope. Sorry, I got that in too close. So that's all it is, a little thing that comes out of a magazine. And if you look up close, I don't know if you can tell, you can see in here, you can still see a little bit of the business reply mail and a little bit of the barcode down here and here. And that's okay. I like it like that. And you can see a little bit of the stuff from the back of the reply card. You could put on another layer of paint if you wanted to more thoroughly cover that up. I kind of like that it shows through. So really it's a personal preference. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to just take this card. This is more or less the same exact card I did here. And all you do is take a little bit of regular acrylic paint. I like the blue and green color, but you could certainly use any color you want. So this is just plain old, I think I got this at Walmart. And what I do is, normally I would do this right on my regular drop pad thing here, but I'm going to need to work on this, so I need to be able to move this out of the way while it's drying. So anyway, I just put like maybe about that much, and then get like a little credit card, you know, gift card, something you've already used up. Get a little bit of this on here. And then you basically just smear it on. I mean, it seriously is that easy. Oops, cover it as much as you want. And this is just going to be the first coat here. I just kind of spread it out really thin. It's going to dry fairly fast. Not fast enough for me to use this again in the video. So I've already done one. I'm going to show you how it looks when it's done. And that is why I wanted to be able to move this, so I wouldn't have to keep sticking my hand in the wet paint. And I got my little handy wipes here to kind of clean up a little bit. So here's one after I've done one coat. And what happens is, I'll bring it back in a minute and show you. So this is one coat. So you can see that it still shows through a lot. And then once this side is dry, I turn it over, do one layer of green, and then when it's dry, basically I turn it back over and do another layer. And actually I do 3 or 4 cards at one time. So I do all the blue on one side, and then when they're all dry, I turn them over and do all the green. That's pretty much how that goes. And sometimes you'll notice that your card starts to bow up a little bit, and that's perfectly fine. That happens to me every time I do it. And I do kind of move it so it won't stick to the paper, but if it sticks to the paper, that's okay too. It just gives another little layer of texture on there, and I have some that do that. But it will kind of curl up, but that's okay. When you turn it over and do the other side, it will uncurl. Anyway, there you go. So that was the one layer on each side. And then I have one here that I did 2 layers on each side. So this is more or less like the card that the completed card that I have. And then after that's dry, and you'll see here, it's got some other little splotches of paint. That was just what was down on my drop pad, and it colored it, and that's fine. It stuck to it. And then once I am done with that, let me get my little piece of paper back here. Move this out of the way for right now. Oops. And you could do anything you want. I mean, it's really totally up to you after that as far as what you want to put on it or what you do to it. I'm just going to do the same thing I did before. And what I did was get a little bit of white paint. Oops, this is my white paint. Hold on a second. Didn't have everything in here, sorry. So then I took a little bit of white paint, And I just got something round. I have a couple of things. I have this, which is a cap to like a hairspray bottle, and this, I don't know, I forgot where this came from. It's a little tube off of something. So anyway, sorry, I guess I'm out of frame here. So I just put a little bit of white in here, and then I just stamp it wherever. Whatever, you know, whatever I, really kind of random more or less. And that's pretty much it. And then on mine, I also put a little bit of yellow up in the corner. You can do that. I kind of, that's my pretend sun. And then usually what I would do is I would take this, whatever's left, if I have anything left, and I just smear it on my drop cloth thing. And that's basically how it turns out, like this one down here. And that's pretty much it. Then you just put whatever you want to on it. And I've actually got one that I did already that's dried, so that I can move on to the next step, which was really making the little flower. And all I did there was I have my hole punch, whatever you call it, shape punch. You could use anything. I have a smaller one, you could use that. You know, you could just punch anything out, or you could not punch anything at all. You could put some collage on here, you could put a stamp on it. You know, it's really your call. So then what I do is I take these, I did one in pink and one in red, and I basically just glued them together like this. Sorry, I know I'm probably out of frame again. You know, I'm not a professional videographer, so that's for sure. It's easier to do this, to make this, than it is to make the video. So that's not exactly on point, but that's okay too. Doesn't really matter. And then I use my little round hole punch and punch some little round holes. And, oops, dropped it. So I'll just use a different one. Sorry about that. I'll just use this one. No, don't like that one. Here, I use this one. And that's basically the flower petal. And then I just use regular old Elmer's school glue. I also have this soooo glue. If you've never used that, this is fantastic glue stick, but I've never found it locally. You have to order it through Amazon. If I'm going to glue on something really kind of heavy, more than cardstock, well, actually pretty much more than just paperweight. So I just kind of wherever randomly stick that on. And then I use my plain old Crayola markers to just draw in the rest of it. Or you could cut stems out, or you know, you could just do whatever you want. So anyway, that's basically what I do. Draw my little lines here, draw my little leaves. And it's okay if it gets over the white part. It's okay if it smudges. I've had them smudge before, no big deal. Once that dries, I'll probably color in the leaf a little more. And then the other thing that I do, if you'll notice on here, I have these little lines right here. Those I do with, again, with the credit card. And I put a little bit, I used purple. Just to kind of give it, I don't know. It's just to make it a little bit, I guess, scrappier. I don't know what the word for it is. So you just kind of do like this, wherever. You can even do it right on your flower. It's nothing, no particular rhyme or reason, and maybe you don't like that, so don't do that part. And then the last thing I do, next to the last thing, and usually I would wait till this was completely dry to do all of this, but you basically just edge it so it kind of looks like it has a border. See, that kind of got in my little white a little bit that wasn't quite dry yet, but that's okay. And I actually try to get it on the page a little bit, not just on the edge. I like the way that looks. I guess more antique-y, or I don't know. I'm not good with the words, but anyway, you get the idea. That's kind of like what I do. And then the very last thing I normally do is put a sentiment on it. Again, you could stamp that right on there. I have these Tim Holtz ideology words, and I will just find a phrase I like throw kindness around like confetti. And I will just, I'm not going to put it on here right now because it's still wet, but I would cut the words, and then I'd use my little distress inker again, and I would kind of go around the words a little bit, and then just put them down somewhere where it fits. And that's pretty much it. I hope you learned something from this or got an inspiration, and if you do one of these, I would love to see it. You can send me the put the pictures. I think, can you put pictures in the comments? I don't know. See, I really don't know that much about these videos, but anyway, that is it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I really appreciate you taking the time to watch. Thanks.